All right, let's talk about a serious medical condition you've probably heard whispered about, especially at the gym: rhabdomyolysis. It's a mouthful, I know, but the idea behind it is simple and, honestly, pretty terrifying. It's when your own muscles break down and start poisoning your body. So yeah, we're going to unpack what that really means.
Look, it's a dramatic question, I get it. But when you push your body to its absolute limit, are you just building strength? Or could you be flipping a switch that leads to, well, catastrophic failure? In some rare cases, the answer is yes, and knowing how that happens is the key to making sure it doesn't happen to you.
So let's get right into it. What exactly is happening inside your body when someone gets rhabdo? Well, it all kicks off with some severely damaged muscle tissue.
Okay, there's the textbook definition. Your skeletal muscle, the muscles you use to run, lift, and just move, they get overworked or crushed to the point where the cells actually rupture. When they burst, they spill all their contents into your bloodstream, and the most dangerous thing that spills out is a protein called myoglobin.
This slide shows you everything you need to know. See, inside the muscle, myoglobin is the hero. It's this awesome protein that grabs onto oxygen and feeds your muscles so they can do their job. But when it escapes into the bloodstream in huge amounts, it completely flips the script and becomes the villain. It makes its way to your kidneys, which are basically your body's filtration system. And all that myoglobin, it's like dumping sludge into a delicate filter. It clogs everything up, leading to severe kidney damage and sometimes even total failure.
And you might be thinking, well, this sounds super rare, but it's not some 1 in a million thing. In the United States alone, doctors report around 25,000 cases every single year. So the bottom line is, this is definitely something worth knowing about.
So what brings this on? When we think of muscle damage, our minds usually go straight to some kind of physical injury. But the triggers for rhabdo are actually incredibly diverse, and I bet some of them are going to surprise you.
First, let's cover the ones that make intuitive sense. Things like crush injuries from an accident, really bad burns, even blocked blood vessels can cause a whole lot of muscle to die off. But the big one, the one we hear about all the time, is extreme muscle exertion. We're talking marathon runners, or maybe someone who goes from 0 to 100 in a new, super intense workout routine their body just isn't ready for.
But it's not just about physical trauma. Get this, a potential, though pretty rare, trigger for rhabdo could be sitting in the medicine cabinet of over 1/4 of American adults right now.
Yep, you're seeing that right. Statins. These are incredibly common, often life-saving drugs that people take to lower their cholesterol. But they do carry a very rare but well-documented risk of causing rhabdomyolysis. Now, I have to be crystal clear, this is absolutely not a reason to stop taking your medication. The risk is tiny, but it's a powerful example of how the causes of rhabdo go way beyond just a bad injury.
And believe it or not, the list goes on. Certain infections, both viral and bacterial, can set it off. Toxins, whether from a snakebite, too much alcohol, or illegal drugs, can be a cause. And for some folks, it's genetic. They have underlying conditions that make them more susceptible. The real takeaway here is that pretty much anything that puts your muscles under extreme stress can be a potential trigger.
Okay, so we know what it is and what can cause it, but how would you know if you actually had it? This next part is absolutely crucial because catching it early can be the difference between a full recovery and permanent damage. The really tricky thing about rhabdo is that the early symptoms are, well, they're kind of vague. They can easily be mistaken for the flu or just the aftermath of a killer workout. We're talking about extreme muscle soreness, way beyond what's normal, weakness, and just that general feeling of being really unwell.
But this is the one to burn into your memory. This is your body's biggest, brightest red flag. That dark, brown, almost cola-colored urine, that's the myoglobin we talked about, literally staining your urine as your kidneys struggle to filter it out. If you ever see this, especially after a crazy workout or an injury, it is time to take it very seriously.
And I honestly cannot stress this enough. Rhabdomyolysis is not a wait-and-see kind of thing. It's not a maybe I'll feel better tomorrow situation. It is a true medical emergency. The faster you get treatment, the better your odds are of protecting your kidneys from lasting harm.
So what happens when you get to the hospital? Well, the good news is doctors have a very clear and effective playbook for diagnosing this and getting you on the road to recovery.
They'll start with a physical exam, of course, and ask about what you've been up to. But the real proof is in the lab work. They'll take your blood and urine and check for sky-high levels of specific markers, especially something called creatine kinase. It's an enzyme that just floods your system when your muscles are damaged, so it's a clear distress signal. And of course, they're looking for myoglobin. Once it's confirmed, treatment starts immediately, and the number one most important line of defense is aggressive hydration. Seriously, they will pump you full of intravenous fluids. The whole goal is to flush that toxic myoglobin out of your system as fast as possible before it has time to do any more damage to your kidneys.
Now, depending on how severe the case is, they have other tools too. They might use certain medications to help protect the kidneys. They'll also have to carefully manage your electrolytes because damaged muscles can release dangerous levels of things like potassium into your blood. And in the worst-case scenarios, if the kidneys have already started to fail, dialysis might be necessary to do the job for them. All right, so for our final and I think most empowering piece of this puzzle, prevention. How do you make sure this never, ever happens to you? Well, the best news of all is that the prevention playbook is pretty straightforward. Number one, and you could probably guess this by now, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Drinking plenty of fluids, especially around tough exercise, helps your kidneys do their job. Second, be smart about how you train. Don't go from zero to hero overnight. Ease into new fitness routines so your body has time to adapt. And finally, listen to your body. If you're sick, rest. Pushing through an illness just puts your whole system under incredible stress.
And this chart right here is exactly why getting help early is so critical. As you can see, the outlook for rhabdo is actually really good, if it's caught and treated quickly. Most people make a full recovery. But if treatment gets delayed, that's when you run the risk of serious kidney injury, and sometimes that damage can be permanent.
So at the end of the day, whether you're an elite athlete or just a weekend warrior, the message is really the same. Your body is constantly sending you signals. And look, there's a difference between pushing your limits and just flat out ignoring bright red warning signs. So pay attention to what your body is telling you, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe out there.